West Holmes Knights Football Weekly Preview Show on WKLM.
This week's Knights Football Weekly Preview Show brought to you by Village Motors in Millersburg. I'm Matt Quayle alongside Mike Kinsey, and West Holmes going to get back in the win column on Friday, Mike, with the 56-35 victory at Madison in a game where over 90 points scored in the game combined, over almost 900 yards combined between the two teams. So if you liked the offense, that was the game to beat.
Yeah, if you were looking for excitement, that sure was the game. There wasn't a dull moment in the game. And, yeah, you're right. Both teams, they moved the ball up and down the field. And, I think both teams might have left the D out of defense there a little bit also. But, hey, we came out victorious, and that's all that matters.
We talk about a lot of the weapons on this West Holmes team offensively. There's a lot of them. But a guy that's kind of got himself into that fold this year is Zach Schepler. Has made a difference here. He seems to get getting better every week. Of course, a touchdown run last week, 2 touchdown receptions. So he's certainly a big part of that offense, too.
Yeah, it seems like whenever they call his number, they need him to do something. He steps up and does a good job for him. And like you said, we have a lot of weapons. I think there were 5 different guys that had touchdowns last week. That may not be correct, but I know there was a bunch of them. And, who do you shut down? I mean, you have so many guys. You only have so many guys on defense, so someone's going to be open.
This is a Madison team that hasn't won much here and not a lot of stability with coaching the last few years, Mike. But you can kind of see this is a team that has some talent here if they can kind of keep that going.
Yeah, just like anything else, you got to build. I mean, I think that's Coach Gardner's philosophy, build the foundation. Well, they're trying to build a foundation over there, and, it takes time.
For West Holmes, I think the biggest thing is to get in that win column, kind of get that mojo back here before you return back home.
Yeah, I agree. It's always tough to have 2 defeats in a row, and you're coming back home here now, and that'll help a lot. But absolutely, it was a much-needed win for the Knights.
West Holmes now 3-2 on the season, 1-1 in the Ohio Cardinal Conference. Let's go out to Knight Stadium now. The Jake Seidel alongside head coach Zach Gardner.
Thanks, Matt. Here with West Holmes head coach Zach Gardner. Coach, we talked Friday at the halftime interview about your team played well 98% of the time. You gave up that first 70-yard touchdown pass, and then your offense able to get things going in the second quarter. What can you just say about your team's performance?
Yeah, like we talked about, with 98% of the time we do really, really good things, and it's that 2% of the time that we need to focus on and rectify, and it comes down to, just focusing, reading your keys, and just being consistent. And once we find that consistency, I think we're going to have a special football team here. And, that's something that we're working towards really hard in practice. And you see the signs of it coming. You see our kids practice real hard. They're giving us everything they have. We're so proud of them for that. And, the more reps they get, the more consistent we will get.
Well, Coach, I know we also talked last week about Madison, a team that's looking for an identity, but your team has had an identity for the last couple of years. How much does it mean to you to see a kid like Zach Schepler step up and gets 3 touchdowns to help your team?
Oh, it's huge, man. Shep, he does whatever we ask for him, of him. He blocks well. He runs the football well, puts his foot down and gets vertical. And he can catch the football out of the backfield. And he's smart. He understands our game plans. And, he is like a Swiss Army knife for our offense, the things that he's, able to do for us. And, very, very proud of him and the type of game that he had last Friday.
And Morgan Smith, another fantastic night throwing the ball.
Absolutely, Morgan, and I'll tell you what's scary about Morgan is he gets better with every snap that he takes. He hasn't even scratched the surface of what his potential is. He has a very high ceiling for the things that he can do, and as he gets more comfortable reading defenses and employing the proper techniques on every play, he's going to keep getting better and better. If there's high school fantasy football, he's definitely the type of kid that you want on your team with the statistics that he's putting up so far.
Coach, you got Worcester this week. They're a team, they play a tough non-conference schedule. They played Orville really well, just like you did. What are you expecting to see out of the Generals this week, and what are you guys doing to get ready?
Yeah, have a ton of respect for Coach Holter and the program that he puts together. The Worcester's a proud, tradition-laden program. You see it on film. Those kids play hard. They're very, very talented, and we expect a rivalry battle on Friday night. Here at a home field. So we got to continue to prepare, and then we got to start seeing that consistency. We still got to see us, go out and execute and do the things that we're capable of.
Well, Coach, thanks for your time today. Good luck on Friday against the Generals.
Thank you.
Here with West Holmes, Zach Schepler. Zach, you had a fantastic game on Friday up at Madison. It started off with a 2-yard touchdown run. Can you break that play down for us a little bit?
Yeah, we were getting close to the end zone there, and I know we've had some times where we get down there and we can't quite punch it in. So just had to make a play and get the ball in the end zone.
And then later in the game, you had 2 touchdown grabs, a 4-yard reception and a 20-yard touchdown reception, showing that you're kind of a Swiss Army knife for this Knights offense. So what do you have to say about the performance of you and your quarterback late in that game?
Oh, yeah, I got to give a lot of credit to the quarterback. He always puts the ball on me pretty good. And on that first reception there, that was another one where we were close to the end zone, just had to get in. And then that other one, the play calling was perfect. Defense completely bid on the play and then got the ball right in the end zone.
You've got Worcester this week, another kind of one of those backyard rivalry games. What are you expecting out of the Generals, and what are you doing to get ready?
Oh, I know they're a pretty good program, and they practice hard and stuff, but I think we're going to be just fine if we just keep on going down and getting the work in during the week. We'll be just fine.
Couple games on the road, you finally get a chance to play in front of your home crowd again. What's the best part about being able to play at home?
Oh, just walking out of the locker room and seeing all the fans up on our home side. It's a different feeling when you play on your home.
Well, Zach, thanks for your time today. Good luck against Worcester on Friday.
Yep, thank you.
We'll send it back to Matt Croy at Village Motors.
All right, Jake, thank you. Alongside Mike Kinsey once again at Village Motors. And Mike, if you kind of look at the news lately here, you might have heard about the auto industry being on strike. How might that affect Village Motors?
Well, you do hear that on the news, and it is true. Hopefully it'll be over with sooner than later. But we've got a lot of supply down here. We've got lots of vehicles, so don't let that keep you from coming down. Like I said, maybe the longer it goes on, the shorter we'll get. But right now, we've got something for everybody, so come on down and we'll fit the bill for you.
Especially we're in September now. Fall time's not that far away, so good time to stop by and check out the selection.
Absolutely, and I hate to say it, but, snow's not too far away, and we do have a lot of sport utility and trucks here. We talked last week. We got some Super Duties and some heavy-duty trucks. So, again, I think I've got something for everybody, so come down and give us a chance.
Stop by and see them. That's Village Motors, of course, Worcester Road in Millersburg on the web. VillageMotorsInc.com. The West Holmes will begin the second half of the season by returning to the friendly confines of Knight Stadium. Of course, West Holmes has now won 20 consecutive home games, including some playoff games in midst of that here. So certainly looking forward to be back at home as they take on this Worcester Generals team. Worcester comes in at 2-3 in the season. They're 1-1 in the OCC. They lost to Lexington last week. West Holmes, of course, 3-2 on the season, and also 1-1 in the Ohio Cardinal Conference. West Holmes defeated Worcester last year on the road, of course, 48-6. They've won 2 straight over Worcester, and their last loss come to the Generals back in 2020. But, Mike, you look at the last 6 OCC titles, Worcester, West Holmes, their fingerprints all over the OCC title. What do you think about Worcester, 18, 19, 20? They shared it with West Holmes. West Holmes has won it the last 3 years, so 2 teams used to be at the top of the standings.
Worcester's got a lot of talent up there. They've got a lot of talent walking up and down the hallways. I'm not so sure they always have the best athletes out, because they're a big school. However, I think the team that does, tackles and blocks the best and makes the least amount of mistakes this week's going to come up on top.
And as I mentioned, West Holmes, certainly they've been a tough team to beat here last few years on their home field, so I'm sure looking forward to be playing back in Knight Stadium.
Yeah, I'm sure Worcester's thought about that. They're probably thinking about coming down to West Holmes and how hard it is to win here, and I just hope the streak continues and we continue to beat Worcester.
We'll see what happens here on Friday night. Reminder, we'll have that game video live streamed on the WKLM YouTube page, courtesy of our partnership with Claxon Communications. So back on video this Friday. And, of course, as always, we're on FM 95.3 and WKLM-FM.com. Of course, the pregame show begins at 6 p.m. Kickoff is at 7 o'clock. Well, for Mike Kinsey, I'm Matt Croy. Special thanks to Jake Seidel, Zach Gardner, and Zach Schepler. And that's for this week's Knights Football Weekly Preview Show, brought to you by Village Motors.
Thank you for watching the West Holmes Knights Football Weekly Preview Show on WKLM.